Review questions. Pause the video and answer each question. Have you ever been to the UK? Have you ever been to the UK? Yes, I have. No, I haven't been to the UK. What language can a few people speak in the UK? What language can a few people speak in the UK? A few people can speak local languages, like Welsh. Do you want to visit Scotland? Do you want to visit Scotland? Yes, I do. No, I don't want to visit Scotland. What food is sausages and mashed potato? What food is sausages and mashed potato? Bangers and mash is sausages and mashed potato. Where would you like to visit in the UK? Where would you like to visit in the UK? I would like to visit Big Ben. History and Geography, the UK. Today we will learn the geography of the UK and the history of the UK. Vocabulary: North, South, East, West. River, a lot of water that usually flows into a lake or ocean. Plains, land that is very flat. Mountain, land that is very high and steep. This is a map of the UK showing the different countries' flags. The United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland is in northwest Europe. Here's the UK. It's in northwest Europe. There is the main island of Britain, Northern Ireland, and many small islands. The UK has 4 countries. Scotland is in the north. England is the largest. Wales is west of England. Northern Ireland is on the island of Ireland. The UK is wet most of the year. Most of the UK has cold winters and warm summers. Scotland is the coldest part of the UK. You can see the east of the UK is colder and drier. The west of the UK is warmer and wetter. Most of the mountains in the UK are in Scotland and Wales. The highest mountain is Ben Nevis in Scotland. East Anglia in southeast England is the largest plain in the UK. You can see the land is very flat. The longest river in the UK is the River Severn. It starts in Wales and goes into England. One of the main rivers near London is the River Thames. It goes east across England. Practice questions. What is the highest mountain in the UK? What is the highest mountain in the UK? Ben Nevis is the highest mountain in the UK? Where is East Anglia? Where is East Anglia? East Anglia is in southeast England. How long is the River Thames? How long is the River Thames? The River Thames is about 346 kilometers long. Map skills. Read and label the map with the words. Example: United Kingdom. United Kingdom. You need to find the words and label the map. Scotland, England, Wales, Northern Ireland, Ben Nevis, East Anglia, River Severn, River Thames. History. The history of England. People have lived in England for almost 1 million years. Between 43 AD to 410 AD, the Romans controlled most of England. The Romans came from Italy and controlled most of England. The Romans were in England for 400 years until they lost control. People from North and Central Europe took control of England. So many different people from Europe came to England. There were Angles, Saxons, Jutes, Frisians, and Vikings, to name a few. There were many different kingdoms in England. The different kingdoms fought each other for control. At this time, there were many different kings and queens in England, and they were all fighting to get more control. In 924, the Kingdom of Wessex took control of England. This is the founding of England. Wessex slowly took control of all of England. So the King of Wessex was now the King of England. Practice questions. How long have people lived in the UK? How long have people lived in the UK? People have lived in the UK for almost 1 million years. Where did the Saxons come from? Where did the Saxons come from? The Saxons came from North and Central Europe. When did Wessex take control of England? When did Wessex take control of England? Wessex took control of England in 924. The Normans took control of England in 1066. So the Normans were Vikings that lived in France, and in 1066 they took control of England. The Norman king, William the Conqueror, became King of England. From England, the Normans took control of Ireland in 1171. So from England, the Normans took control of Ireland. The King of England took control of Ireland in 1177, making it a puppet country. You can see here, purple is controlled by the King of England. England took control of Wales in 1283, but had different governments. So you can see the purple controlled by the King of England, England, Wales and Ireland controlled by the King, but the countries had their own governments. England and Wales became one country in 1542. Now England and Wales were one country. They had the same government. Also in 1542, the King of England became the King of Ireland. Now the King of England was also the King of Ireland. Ireland was no longer a puppet country. It was controlled by England, by the King of England. England and Ireland were different countries with different governments, but the same king. So, England and Wales had the same king and the same government, but England and Ireland had the same king but different governments. In the late 1500s and early 1600s, England started to control countries around the world. So from England, they went to North America, South America, Africa, and parts of Asia. When the Queen of England died without having children, her cousin, the King of Scotland, became the King of England. England, Scotland, and Ireland had the same king, but different governments. So the four countries all had the same king. Scotland, England, Wales, Ireland all had the same king. England and Wales had the same government, but Scotland and Ireland had different governments. They were different countries. Practice questions. Who were the Normans? Who were the Normans? The Normans were Vikings that lived in France. How did England start to control Ireland in 1177? How did England start to control Ireland in 1177? England made Ireland a puppet country in 1177. What happened when Elizabeth I died? What happened when Elizabeth I died? When Elizabeth I died, her cousin, the King of Scotland, became King of England. So her cousin, King James of Scotland, became King James of Scotland and England. Some people didn't like the king, as he had too much power and control, so England had a civil war. The parliamentarians, the people who worked in government, didn't like the King of England. The King of England was also the King of Scotland and Ireland, so the king had a lot of power and control. The king lost control and was executed In 1649, England was now a republic. The parliamentarians won the English Civil War. There was now no king. He was killed. In 1660, the son of England's executed king was made the new king of England, Scotland, and Ireland. So people in England wanted to have a king again, but the new king had less power and control and had to work with the government. Before, the King of England had lots of power. Now, the new king had less power and he had to work with the government. He couldn't do what he wanted anymore. In 1707, the governments of England and Scotland joined, creating one country. This is the founding of Great Britain. Now, England, Wales, and Scotland were one country. They were the United Kingdom of Great Britain. Ireland and Great Britain had the same king, but were different countries. Great Britain slowly controlled more countries around the world. So they had more land in North America, more land in Asia, and in Africa. Great Britain and Ireland became one country in 1800. This is the founding of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland. So England and Scotland became one country, making Great Britain. Great Britain and Ireland became one country, making the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland. So now the four countries were one country. England, Wales, Scotland, and Ireland had the same king and the same government. They were one country. The UK controlled countries on every continent and was the world's first superpower. By 1920, the UK controlled 25% of the world and had the largest empire in history. The UK controlled a quarter of the world. They had Canada, most of Africa, India, Australia, New Zealand. They controlled many different countries. The UK lost control of the south of Ireland, making the country the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. The south of Ireland became its own country, the Republic of Ireland. Now, England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland were one country, the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. During World War II, the UK lost control of its empire in East Asia to the Japanese. The UK, the British Empire, is in yellow. The Japanese controlled all the land inside the black line. So the UK lost control of its East Asian empire. After World War II, the UK controlled its empire in East Asia again. However, the UK quickly lost control of its empire around the world in the years after World War II. You can see the UK slowly gets its empire, and then after World War II quickly loses it. This map shows all the countries ever controlled by the UK. So at different times in history, all these countries were controlled by the UK. Today, the UK still controls 14 countries around the world. Most of these places are very small. The Queen of England is the Queen of over 30 different places such as Australia and Canada. Practice questions. When was the founding of the United Kingdom? When was the founding of the United Kingdom? The founding of the UK was in 1800. When did the UK lose control of the south of Ireland? When did the UK lose control of the south of Ireland? The UK lost control of the south of Ireland in 1922. Is the UK still a superpower? What do you think? Why? Is the UK still a superpower? What do you think? Why? Yes, because it still controls 14 other countries and the Queen of England is the Queen of other countries. No, because the UK lost control of East Asia to the Japanese during World War II and quickly lost control of its empire after World War II. Map skills. Read the history again and label the maps with the correct dates. Example: many kingdoms was before 1924, pre-1924. The UK and Northern Ireland was made in 1922. The UK and Ireland was made in 1800. The kingdoms of England, Scotland and Ireland with the same king was made in 1603. The founding of England was 1924. England and Wales became one country in 1542. The kingdoms of England and Ireland had the same king in 1542. The founding of Great Britain was 1707.